let's get started with our first news. Things got a little surreal at Media Day when Gane spoke about Pereira. During the press event, Gane seemed to misunderstand a reporter's question. He thought he was being asked if he'd fight Alex at the White House, assuming he beats Tom Aspinall this weekend. Without hesitation, Gane smiled and said, "Of course I would." But the real question came next. If Alex Pereira ever ends up fighting Jon Jones, what are his chances of winning? Gane didn't hesitate there either. He said, "Yes, of course. This is a fight, a warrior's game, and everything is possible in a fight. So yeah, 100%. Gane clearly respects Pereira's abilities. He acknowledged that when it comes to fighting at the highest level, anyone can win on any given night. In his words, when two warriors step inside that cage, nothing is guaranteed, and everything can change in a single moment. Then a reporter asked if Gane himself would be interested in facing Pereira someday. Gane laughed and said, "Yes, exactly. That's what I was going to say." He confirmed that it's definitely a fight he'd consider. The idea of a matchup between the slick heavyweight striker and the devastating middleweight light heavyweight champion sent a ripple of excitement through the room. Gane's calm yet confident tone made it clear that he doesn't shy away from challenges. Whether it's Aspinall, Pereira, or even Jon Jones, Gane believes in his style, his movement, and his ability to adapt. He reminded everyone that in MMA, the unexpected is always possible, and that's what makes the sport so electrifying. So now, with fight week heating up and speculation running wild, fans can't help but imagine what a showdown between Gane and Pereira, or even Pereira and Jon Jones, might look like. One thing's for sure, the future of the heavyweight division just got a lot more interesting. Move on to another news. Sean O'Malley thinks Peter Yan may catch Merab. The bantamweight champ shared his thoughts ahead of UFC 323, where Merab is set to defend his title against the former champion, Peter Yan. According to O'Malley, Merab's growing confidence in his striking might actually be the very thing that cost him the fight. Sean explained that Merab has made huge improvements in his stand-up game. He's not just a relentless wrestler anymore. He's mixing it up beautifully with clean combinations, sharp movement, and much better timing. But that evolution comes with risk. O'Malley said, "Could that be his downfall? He's way more confident in his hands, and his hands have improved a lot. He actually cracked me a few times in that second fight." O'Malley admitted that it's incredibly difficult to face someone like Merab, who forces you to constantly respect the wrestling threat. The moment you focus too much on defending takedowns, he starts throwing punches. Sean said, "He's doing a really good job of mixing it up." But could that be the downfall for him versus Peter? If he gets a little bit too confident in those hands, that might be the opening Peter needs. O'Malley also took time to study his own past fight with Peter Yan. He said, "I rewatched me versus Peter a couple days ago, and the couple times I sat in there with the 1-2, he countered so hard and so fast. His timing is insane." Sean pointed out that Yan remains one of the most precise and dangerous strikers in the division. When you stay in the pocket with him for too long, you risk getting clipped by something sharp and powerful. That's what makes this matchup so intriguing. Merab's pace, pressure, and relentless wrestling can overwhelm almost anyone. But Yan's counter-striking is deadly. If Merab chooses to trade just a bit too long, O'Malley believes Peter could catch him clean. If Merab does decide, "I want to trade with him a little bit," that could be his downfall, Sean said. O'Malley respects both fighters, but he made it clear. Confidence can be a double-edged sword. Merab has looked unstoppable lately, yet against a sharp technician like Peter Yan, one small mistake can change everything in a split second. The bantamweight title fight at UFC 323 is shaping up to be something truly explosive. Move on to another news. Belal Muhammad says Kamaru Usman is avoiding him. According to Belal, Usman has been ducking a fight ever since the two shared an intense moment during a recording of Usman's own podcast, Pound for Pound. Belal claims that during the taping, things got heated and he actually slapped Usman. Since then, that episode has mysteriously never been released. Belal explained that Usman's silence and lack of response tell the whole story. He said, "Right to this day, the episode still hasn't dropped. That tells you everything you need to know." Belal believes that if the situation were reversed, Usman would have immediately posted it, bragging about it. But since he didn't, Belal thinks it's because the slap hurt, not just physically, but in pride. Belal continued, "He's been on the sidelines, 1-3 in his last 4 fights, and he's still trying to talk a big game. I was like, I don't want to fight anybody that's not right next in line for the title fight. He weighed in as the backup for that fight, so this is the fight that makes sense. We win this, we go! I already finished this guy before, and none of these other guys are fighting. Kamaru's injured, he's sitting out, staying quiet." He went on to emphasize that the matchup between him and Usman was the most logical next step. Yeah, of course that was the fight that made the most sense. We had our podcast moment where I slapped him and you'd think he'd want to get his get back. But the fact that he didn't? That says everything. He knows it's a bad matchup for him. He knows that slap hurt him. Belal didn't hold back when talking about Usman's reaction, or lack thereof. For me, as a man, if somebody slaps you on your own podcast and you say nothing, that tells me what kind of person you are. And the fact that you didn't post it or even talk about it, it just proves it more. He finished by saying, "He's a coward, so I moved on." With Belal now sitting at the top of the welterweight division, hungry for that long-awaited title shot, the tension between him and Usman continues to grow. And if what Belal says is true, that unreleased podcast episode might be one of the most talked about moments fans will never get to see. Move on to another news. Bisping believes Alex Pereira will be the GOAT if he beats the winner of Aspinall versus Gane, after Pereira's incredible performance against Magomed Ankalaev, where he destroyed the challenger and reclaimed his light heavyweight title. The MMA world exploded with speculation about what's next for the Brazilian superstar. During his post-fight interview, Pereira made it clear that he's only interested in one fight, Jon Jones at heavyweight. He doesn't care about the interim belt or the winner between Tom Aspinall and Ciryl Gane. His reasoning is simple. A fight between him and Jones is legend versus legend. Win or lose, both men's legacies remain untouched. Bisping and Paul Felder discussed the topic on their latest show, calling the idea of Pereira changing his mind and fighting the winner of Aspinall versus Gane absolutely insane, in the best way possible. They both agreed that if Pereira actually went on to fight the heavyweight champion and won, there would be no debate left. He would unquestionably be the greatest fighter of all time. Bisping said, "If you're gonna fight at heavyweight, why not try to become a 3-weight division champion? Something that no one has ever done." Then that's it, the conversation's over. "You're the greatest person to ever compete in this sport," Felder agreed, adding that it wouldn't matter who held the heavyweight belt. "I don't care if it's Tom, Derek Lewis, or anyone else. If you win at 185, then move up, win at 205, regain the belt, and then go on to capture heavyweight gold, you're going down as the biggest legend in the history of mixed martial arts. No doubt about it." Bisping even laughed and mentioned how exciting a fight between Derek Lewis and Tom Aspinall would be, saying, "You never know, man. Derek could catch Tom because that guy can knock out anybody." But even with that side note, he brought the conversation back to Pereira's historic potential. If Pereira was to become a 3-division champion, Bisping said, the conversation's over. There's nothing left to argue. Alex Pereira has already made history faster than anyone before him, becoming a 2-division champion in record time. But if he were to move up and take that 3rd belt, it wouldn't just be another title. It would be immortality in the world of MMA. Move on to another news. Khamzat Chimaev is facing steroid use accusations after his fight with Duplessis. The middleweight division just got even wilder after Merab's coach, Ray Longo, went on record accusing Khamzat of using PEDs while training under his new strength and conditioning coach, Sam Calavita. And it didn't stop there. UFC commentator John Anik joined the discussion, clearly intrigued by the implications and what this could mean for the middleweight title picture. During a recent segment breaking down Khamzat's rise and his dominant performances inside the octagon, Longo dropped the bombshell. He pointed out that Khamzat specifically chose to train with the same team that worked with TJ Dillashaw, the very same camp associated with one of the sport's most infamous EPO scandals following Dillashaw's fight against Henry Cejudo. Longo said that this connection is far from a coincidence, especially considering the recent photos of Khamzat looking absolutely jacked, bigger, leaner, and more muscular than ever before. Fans immediately began questioning whether there's more behind that insane physique than just hard work and genetics. Longo didn't hold back, saying, "Out of all the strength coaches you could go to, you go to the guy with the track record of EPO use? Come on, that's a bad sign. I'd have him triple tested before he even steps into the cage." He added, "You guys think everybody's clean, but you're really, really misinformed. I know what's going on out there." Anik responded by calling it an interesting choice, and agreed that working with someone so closely linked to a PED scandal does raise eyebrows. "It's the art of war, I guess," Longo said. "That's a pretty interesting choice to make, going to the guy with intimate familiarity with EPO." Speculation has only grown louder since then. Some believe Khamzat might be using performance enhancers to fix his rumored stamina issues, which many say date back to the viral infection he suffered years ago. His physique has transformed drastically, fueling even more suspicion. Meanwhile, Khamzat's team has remained completely silent on the matter. No official response. No statement. Nothing. And with Khamzat continuing to steamroll through opponents while the division waits for clarity, the controversy is far from over. The MMA world is buzzing, and it's clear. This story isn't disappearing anytime soon. Move on to another news. The MMA community goes off on Bo Nickal for his Khamzat comments. Bo appeared on the Ariel Helwani show this week, and when asked what he learned from the Khamzat versus Duplessis fight, he said one simple thing: wrestling works. If you're in the UFC, you should know how to wrestle. That line alone sparked a wave of reactions. But things really heated up when he was asked about the possibility of fighting Khamzat on the upcoming UFC White House card. Bo responded humbly, saying, "Maybe. I don't know. I gotta win some fights first. He's the champ, he's #1, and I'm not even ranked. I just need to keep winning, and we'll see after this." But what really set the internet on fire were Bo's past comments. Months ago, he claimed that if he fought Khamzat, fans would see that there are levels to the game. At the time, Bo called Khamzat's wrestling mid and even trash. He said, "We're gonna fight at some point, and people will realize there are levels." It's funny. You go into the world of MMA, where there's no other sport where people know less and think they know more. Now, after receiving major backlash, Bo tried to clarify what he meant. He insisted those comments were about a pure wrestling match, not an MMA fight. "All the comments I made about ragdolling him were in a wrestling context," Bo explained. "If it's freestyle or collegiate wrestling, it's not competitive. It's not close. I'm a 3-time national champion, a world champion. I've beaten the best guys in the world. So no, I don't take those comments back. But in an MMA fight, that's a dog fight. That's a scrap. That's a war." Despite his clarification, fans weren't buying it. One user wrote, "We're going to fight at some point so people will see there are levels." "That doesn't sound like you were talking about wrestling, Bo." Another fan said, "He's right, it wouldn't be close. Khamzat would destroy him. Maybe Bo's got a 60-40 edge in collegiate wrestling, but in MMA, it's 95-5 for Khamzat." Others mocked Bo's logic, saying, "This isn't collegiate wrestling. The Wolf would out-grapple him and maul him." Another joked, "I'm going to start telling people I can beat Bo Nickal in badminton." The MMA community made it clear. Talk is cheap. And when it comes to Khamzat, most fans believe Bo Nickal wouldn't stand a chance inside the cage. Move on to another news. Alexander Volkov says he knows Jailton Almeida's game plan. Volkov is set to face Almeida this weekend at UFC 321 in what promises to be one of the most interesting heavyweight matchups of the year. While Almeida has become known for his dominant grappling, suffocating control, and slick jiu-jitsu transitions, Volkov believes there's nothing surprising about what's coming. He says he understands Almeida's approach completely and is ready to stop it. In a recent interview, Volkov said, "His style is very understandable for me. He doesn't hide it. Everyone knows what he's going to do. He's going to use his ground game, his jiu-jitsu, his wrestling. So I've prepared for that. I will be ready." Volkov went on to explain that he's actually excited to face someone like Almeida because it gives him the perfect opportunity to showcase his own grappling abilities. "It's a good opportunity for me to show my ground and wrestling skills with him," he said. "I like that he gives me this opportunity. I've been training my grappling a lot for this camp, adding more focus on defense and control. It's a great chance to show the world that I can wrestle and that I have good jiu-jitsu too." For years, Volkov has been recognized as one of the most technically sound strikers in the heavyweight division. His height, reach, and precision make him a nightmare for anyone who stays standing. But now, he's eager to prove that he's not just a kickboxer. He's a complete mixed martial artist. "People think I can only strike," Volkov said. "But I want to show them that I can handle the ground game as well. Almeida will try to take me down, but I'll be ready for everything." He emphasized that his camp has focused heavily on takedown defense, positional escapes, and reversing pressure. "We trained every day for his style," Volkov continued. "We know he's going to shoot. We know he wants to control, and I'm prepared for all of that. It's time to show that I can stop it." As fight night approaches, Volkov looks calm, confident, and focused. He's not underestimating Almeida's skill set, but he's not intimidated either. In his words, "It's going to be a great fight, a real test. But I'm ready to show the world that I'm not just a striker, I'm an all-around fighter."